Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at ADA. This is going to be a lower time frame video. We do have a higher time frame video up above, so check that out if that's more what you're interested in. Okay, so let's get into the charts and see what's going on. There was two things that I was talking about in the previous video, looking for the potential that either this is a fourth wave, in which case we're going to be still looking for this potential to drop down towards this 20 cent 36 to the 17.95 as a possible fifth wave, or alternatively, what we were also arguing is that from further back here, we could actually just have this as a bigger A, a B, and a C, and we complete it into this low. So the key difference here between these two counts is that if we have this as a fourth wave and a fifth wave, we've got obviously continuation to the downside. Alternatively, if this C is here, we could actually be setting up for the potential of a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we see price explode to the upside in a bigger way. So we're going to be going over that bullish count secondary. We're going to talk about the idea of the fourth wave first, and then we're going to go over that bullish count where we could be looking to break out of this area directly. Now, what I'm looking for here is the potential, like I said, for this drop in this fifth wave. So I'm going to actually come in here and we're going to look at the lower degree count here. And what I'm looking for here, that if we are looking to break down, the most probable way now would actually be that this is 1, 2, 1, 2 here. And then we're actually going to be looking for this third wave. So what I'm looking out for here is that this could be 1, 2 here. This is 1, 2. And if we fail to break back above this 29.21, what we could have is that this move could just be a WX and a Y here for wave 2. And then we look to break down. It is also possible that this could become A. We see 3 waves down and we see something a bit bigger here develop, where we actually look to come back up here and retest some of these higher zones here. We have already come up into this golden pocket. If we do come up higher, I would be keeping an eye on this 786 here at this 28.85, or potentially just actually seeing a move back up and looking to form something like a double top here, and then looking for that break to the downside. So that would be looking for that possibility of, a little bit more continuation in the structure as a wave 2. However, we could actually just start to break down directly. Now, if we do start to break down directly from where we are, what I'd be looking for is basically 5-wave structure to the downside, looking to target this 26.19. So there's two areas I'm actually going to be paying attention to. So this 1-to-1 is going to be an important level here at this 27.09 and this 26.19. If this money moves down to this 27.09, what we could actually get here is potentially we could argue that this is A, B, C here for a W, this is an X, and then we get A, B, and C, and that's a Y. So this just becomes a bigger W, X, and a Y, and that would fit into the idea of our bullish count, where we could still look to find support above this low here of this 25.24 before looking for continuation up. But now, talking about this one, what I'm looking for here is that if we do start to break down in a bigger wave, 5-wave move into this zone, I'd be watching this 27 cent region as a possible fourth wave, and then looking for this area here, this 25.99 to this 25.65 to be a target for this fifth wave. So the idea with this is we would also be coming back into this target box that we have over here, which does have some naked points of control in it. We have the current monthly point of control in here, the current weekly point of control in here, and we also have this daily naked point of control towards this 2006. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on these levels. If we do start to break down into this lower region, we could actually look to come and sweep these zones. If we are looking for continuation down, then we might even look to actually sweep this low here in this fifth wave towards this 25.22 before seeing a move to the upside. Now, the key thing here is that if we had to see a move like this develop to the downside here, it is possible that this whole structure here could then become a wave 1. We could get a wave 2 to the upside, and then we could get another 5-wave move to the downside for wave 3, looking to break this low and looking to invalidate that idea of that bullish counter. The problem is, if we just saw something like this where this is ABC, this could actually mean that we're still within a bigger W, X, and a Y. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this if we are looking at the possibility of still being within a fourth wave. What we could actually see is something more along the lines that we are still within a bigger corrective structure here, where this is W, this is X, and then we're looking for this as a bigger Y wave to the upside here. Now, the key thing here is that we'd be treating this as a potentially completed move here, and we would be arguing that we have something like this as an A or a W, an X, and a Y, either W, X, Y here, or alternatively, we could also argue that this is W into here, this is X, and we get ABC for Y. Now, what I'd be looking for here would be actually looking to revisit these lower ranges here of this 26.91 to this 23.59 level. So coming back into the golden pocket here would actually be quite an interesting zone, and this is why I'm looking out for that possibility that within the structure here, if we have actually completed this move rather into this high here, what we could see is that we could get something along these lines where we get a bigger A, B, and a C down here, looking to retest the bottom of this channel and looking to come back and looking to actually swing fail off of these lows here. Now, if we do see something like that, that could then tie into the idea that this is an X wave, and they would be looking for this Y wave to the upside. So this would be looking for that potential that if we do actually get that 5-wave structure down, we could get this as A, B, and C, and even look to potentially look past this channel. This channel is just based off of these two highs pulled onto this low, so this can evolve. There is potential, you know, that we could actually move this around a little bit once we actually start to get some more touch points and some more confluence between some of these zones where we actually turn around. Now, the other way that we can look at this move is that potentially we are looking at this as a bullish count, where actually we're arguing that this is 1, this is 2, this is 1, and then we're forming another wave 2 here. So the key thing within this count is we've actually come down into this 50% already here, which is sitting at this 27.73. So we could also, you know, we can argue within this count here that potentially we have this as a W, an X, and a Y here, where we have this as a 3-wave move, and it's actually completed, in which case this wave 2 could actually complete here, but we wouldn't have confirmation of this until we actually start to break back above this wave 1 high here of this 30.49. And what I'd be looking for here would actually be a move up towards this zone of this 35.86. If we don't move down one more time, this target would actually be this 36.59. So that would be based off of this current low. If we do see one more push down here towards this 0.618, which is sitting here towards this 27.12 to this 26.95, this would be an interesting zone because it would actually be looking to retest this bit of a support and resistance area here. So I would be very interested to see how we react around this area. You know, potentially we could flip this into support and then start to move away in that bigger structure here. So that would be looking for that potential of the bullish move. Now, if we're looking for this as a 1-2-1-2 here, effectively invalidation comes by crossing 25.22. So if we move down below this invalidation point, this would invalidate that possibility of 1-2-1-2 here, and then we'd have to be looking for that possibility, you know, of that corrector structure. Now, I am also just being mindful here. It's not my primary. This is really a third alternative to this, is that we could also argue that this is something like this, where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as a diagonal pattern here. The problem that I have with this is this 5th wave would have been very short if this is the case, and I would have liked to have seen this actually being a zigzag here. So it's not really my favorite way of looking at it, but I am still, you know, on the lookout for the potential that either this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or alternatively we could argue that this completes into this high here. But the problem is then we have this discrepancy between the 4th and anything that happens in this move to the upside, so it's less likely. But if we do see a 3-wave move up like this, and we actually look to form a wedge pattern to the upside, then effectively we could see something where this is either this is a wave 1, we actually looked at this is a wave 2, 3, 4, 5, or alternatively this could be just in 5-wave moves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But like I said, I would have preferred to have seen you know, just a regular zigzag here if that is going to be the case. But this is still alive as long as we hold this 25.22. If we fail to hold this zone, then it becomes likely that we're going to see either this move break down in the bigger way here, or potentially, you know, we could be looking for that idea of actually having this as a bigger corrective structure, where this is just our W wave. We form this as a WXY here for an A, we get a B wave up, and then we see that continuation to the downside, looking to come back and test out some of these lower ranges here. We do have, you know, obviously this area here where we haven't had any back testing, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see a deeper retracement into here, into this zone, and actually look for that potential to move to the upside afterwards if we are going to. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. There's always a potential we could directly break out from here, but you know, we need to see that confirmation. This would be our lower support zone here if we're looking for that to hold. But once we start to break 23.59, it starts to become less likely that we are still within you know, that idea of pushing to the upside in a bigger way, and that impulsive structure is actually lost by losing this low over here. So those are the two things that I'm looking out for at the moment. Now I want to talk a little bit about the CPR here. We're going to flip this onto the daily and have a look at what the daily pivot points are looking like. Okay, so we can see that we're currently fighting with the central CPR lines here. We are currently holding this lower one here, but if we do see price look to break to the downside here and we start to lose these, what I'd be looking for would be this R1 to potentially give us support, this R2 at this 26.72, the R3 would be an interesting one here towards this 25.81, because this would allow for the fact of coming back into these zones here and looking to sweep these naked points of control. Alternatively, we also have the R4 down here towards this 25.17, which would be interesting because it would be looking to sweep this low potentially if we are actually going to see that break down in that way. So going to be keeping an eye on those levels to see if we actually move down in this way. However, if we do start to hold the support of this central CPR lines here, we could actually see price move up towards this S1 line here, which would be this 28.97. That would align with our idea of an ABC if we are looking for that as a corrective move to the upside, which is still in play here. Alternatively, if we have move higher up, we have the R2 at the, S2 at this 29.89, the S3 at this 30.54, and this S4 up here towards this 31.44 zone. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this and see how we exactly react around these levels. Now, as well as that, we're going to talk about the weekly pivot points. What we can see here is we're currently in the middle of these central CPR lines here. Now, if we actually start to lose this zone, what I'd be looking for would be that potential to come back down here to this R1. We also have the R2 down here at this 23.04 and the R3 down here towards this 20.83. Now, if we are going to say, you know, maybe we hold these and we're looking for that bullish potential to the upside here, what I would be looking for would be that possibility that within this structure, we hold this low and then we look to break back above these CPR lines and start to form a structure to the upside impulsively, in which case our S1 target could be this 31.39. We have the S2 at this 33.61, and we also have this S3 up here towards this 36.69 level. So that would be looking at the weekly CPR lines here, looking for the potential pivot points that we could see if price moves into those ranges. Now, we can also see here that on the monthly CPR, we've actually met all the requirements already, and we actually, you know, we're struggling to break through this R3 line here. If we continue to fail to break through this, we could actually see price get gravitated to the downside here. This could be seen as a big sign of weakness here. We start to fail to get back above these zones. So, you know, if we're looking for that bullish count, we really want to start to break back above these levels. And then what we'd be looking for would be the potential to come back into these central lines here throughout the rest of this month towards this 37.35. And then if we did look to push up above that, we have this 39.83, this 42.26, and this area here, this 44.76. Now, obviously, if we do move up here one more time, we still have that potential of finding resistance at these R lines. So we have the 32.39 area, which would be quite an interesting zone, as well as this higher one here, which would be our R1 at this 34.92 zone. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on those different levels. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.